on me.
Thanks for joining us again. A remake or a sequel? Is it or a requel? What is this one? Yeah,
It's more of it's another legacy sequel, I would say. A requel would be more of the...
yeah. It's still, I believe, it still touches on the original.
Mm.
Tonight's film, Candyman, from 2021. Before we get to that, though, Jared, what fucking muck have you been trudging through?
Well, shit, that's not fair, really, is it?
Well, would you like to listen back to the last few episodes?
I'll just quickly scan my list. Yeah, it's probably fair. I kicked things off with Arena, which is, I don't know, I think Rocky, but in outer space. Charles Band's picture.
Did you fucking say that again? Because I don't think everyone heard it exactly. So you're saying Rocky in space. Continue.
Something like that.
Continue.
You know, it's a bloke who's trying to be the first human to be the champion of this fighting tournament in 50 years or something. Fighting lots of aliens. There's lots of cheating going on.
Oh. Who's involved in this? Anyone we know?
No one you know.
No.
Charles Band. So I think it now falls under the Full Moon kind of banner, but at the time it was Empire Pictures or whatever it was.
Okay. How was it?
Yeah, pretty average. Don't rush out.
Yeah. Why am I not surprised?
Well, I went on to Amazon to watch something different, something good. I was crossing over things like Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2 to refresh on that. Then I stumbled into Arena.
And you thought, yep,
you can't,
play.
I did. I did exactly that.
Good one.
I watched Fresh, which was on Disney Plus for us.
What's Fresh?
Fresh is a kind of horror.
Is that a new one?
Thrillery, yeah. It is fairly recent. Sebastian Stan.
Yes. Any good?
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Subject matter's a bit off colour sometimes, but quite an entertaining little bit of work.
Huh?
I would check it out if you got Disney Plus.
Is that on their Star?
Yes, I believe it's under the Star banner. I spent a bit of time going through Moon Knight.
Okay.
Finished Moon Knight.
I heard that wasn't good.
I didn't love it. I mean, it had some potential to be really cool. Obviously, Oscar Isaac is excellent, but I just felt they go into this kind of Egyptian gods and avatars for the gods and all this sort of stuff, and it just doesn't really.
Jared, are we starting to scrape towards the bottom of the Marvel barrel somewhere? I mean, there's so many of these shows.
Yes and no, because I thought WandaVision and Loki were both really good, and now they're
but they're pre the characters that we've already seen in other films. Correct?
Yeah, I just think this one just missed the mark. I wouldn't say it's fucking put me off Marvel for good. Like,
no, I'm not saying. I'm just saying, how many more of these fucking superheroes or comic book characters have we got left?
Yeah, look, I think you still got to go. I mean, you still got to go with the big characters running through some kind of more well-recognised storylines and things like that. There's still avenues to go there. But I just think this was just a bit of a misfire. I still think the character and the story they ran with could have worked. It had some reasonable elements to it. I just felt the whole Egyptian gods and avatars thing was just kind of it just didn't work out for me.
Okay.
I don't think they used it very well. I think it was just another vehicle to tell the same old kind of stories.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there were some interesting elements to the character, no doubt. But yeah, it didn't quite work out for me. I watched Censor. This time I did go onto Amazon Prime and watch something I'd actually intended to watch, so I didn't get sidetracked by a
movie about fucking Rocky Balboa in space. Holy shit.
I wish it was Rocky.
Yeah, so did you say it was on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Censor was Censor was one that I came across because I watched the Fango Chainsaw Awards on Shudder. And Censor was one that came up for a couple of categories.
Was that on Shudder?
Yep.
The actual event?
Yep.
These fuckers can't put a movie on there, but they can put that on there.
Well, I'm still dirty on Shudder.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, where over a season in arrears of Joe Bob, which just pisses me off because you've got the whole just Joe Bob thing. Like, surely you own the rights to that without having to show us the movie. Just give me that. And that still doesn't fucking show up since the last update.
I don't know what they're doing there.
So that's got me a little bit dirty. But, I got
2 years.
I got the Fango Chainsaw Awards, which was good. And there is actually another doco that I started watching there on found footage. Which is,
yeah.
So Censor came across the radar that way. The idea is actually excellent. It's a fucking very intriguing idea. It's basically this woman in the 80s who's a video censor around the whole video nasties period receives a film to rate that essentially shows the same events that led when she was a child to her sister disappearing. And I thought, fuck, that is an excellent idea.
No. Poorly handled?
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Like, visually, there's some really cool things that they do. Like, as the movie goes along, they start to sort of skew towards some of that 80s kind of lighting and cinematography kind of style and that you would find in some of those movies. It just, some of the story elements just fell away a little bit for me towards the end, but I did enjoy it. I think it was a pretty solid movie.
Okay.
And the last one, Adam, Tubi finally got back to me with Subspecies 4.
Okay, and how did it
close out the series?
Cap the series off on a high?
Cap the series off on a massive high. No, look, she's probably a 2-star affair from start to finish, really, but I had to finish it out.
Oh, man. 2 stars. Was Kevin Spiritus in this one?
No, he was gone.
He was gone by
only 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Oh, so he wasn't back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because I think the design of the character is kind of cool, and they seem to be going for this kind of Dracula / Nosferatu kind of character that works in some ways, but it's so fucking cheesy and cheap. And I mean,
is that a Charlie band?
Yeah, that's Full Moon. That's all Full Moon pictures. So they were pumping them out on minuscule budgets and shooting them in Romania and...
Well, you're in Romania for 10 days. Why not make a couple of films while you're there?
Yeah. But there's just, I don't know, there's just something about the Full Moon picture that just has me enamoured. I can't help myself. I see the Full Moon banner, I think, shit, I better have a look.
When you told me you watched fucking Head of the Class, or whatever it was called.
Head of the Family.
Head of the Family, not Head of the Class.
I recommend that one. That was alright.
Oh, shit.
That's one of my favourites, actually. Hideous, not so much.
Oh, Hideous. Yeah. But Hideous seems more up my alley.
Get on Head of the Family as soon as you can.
Oh, okay. So that's everything for you?
Yeah, that's it.
I went and saw Operation Mincemeat. Don't laugh. It's a quality picture.
You're fucking kicking the shit out of me.
No. Operation Mincemeat is based on a true story about, in World War II, the English, in an effort to try and sort of defeat Hitler, they dropped a dead body off the Spanish coast with fake papers in its possession that indicated that they were going to try and come through Spain.
Doesn't sound as interesting as... Rocky in space.
Oh, of course. It doesn't have the same hook. But it was pretty well done, apart from a romance subplot that I didn't feel was necessary. But it's kind of cool to see how they kind of put it together, because they had to obviously create the papers so they would look realistic. So they had to put all sorts of shit in there that you wouldn't, just to disguise the fact that this wasn't sort of fake stuff put together. So I believe it was a turning point in the war. So very interesting. I jumped onto Tubi and watched something called Rituals. I would say Rituals is very much a deliverance type of film, but it's kind of got slasher leanings. It's got Hal Holbrook in it. It's from 1979. It's a Canadian film, and there are moments that are really good. Some really good stuff. But Christ, it just gets boring after a while. Nothing really happens until near the end. So I probably, unless you're a massive slasher aficionado, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably avoid that. That was on Tubi. I watched Graduation Day. Also on Tubi. It'd be better as a hijinks film.
Now, can I just fucking... You just kick the shit out of me and have a listen to some of the shit that you're
watching. Yeah, but I'm getting to some better stuff. Come on.
You're not.
I am getting to better quality product.
Yeah, I've already been there.
Graduation Day is pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's not really one of the... I'm not quite sure. Supposedly it made a lot of money. but I don't know how, because it's pretty cheap. It's got another sterling performance of Christopher George as a track coach, the most fucking unlikely track coach ever. I watched 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. Mm-hmm. Got a shitload of laughs out of that.
Yeah.
It always works. I rewatched Night of the Creeps.
Yep.
I just got a hankering for Night of the Creeps. Fucking love that movie.
Still got my Blu-ray floating around, because I might need to check that out too.
Yeah? Yeah, I have. What are you insinuating?
Well,
that I've had it for a while?
No, well, I mean, if you look in the corner of this room, there's a Halloween box of yours.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fucking trade-off.
I think you're happy to leave that there, because you know the longer you leave it, the more times I'll just fucking stumble across Halloween 6 or Halloween 5 again.
Then after a while, fucking 4 stars.
Yeah, that's right.
Best of the series.
Oh, I think this is a little bit of an Operation Mincemeat kind of situation here.
Yeah, I dropped off some fucking fake Halloween films.
Yeah.
You're continuing to pick them up.
Operation Dr. Death or something like that.
Kindergarten Cop. I don't know why I got a hate for Arnie, but that's right. We're all home. My daughter was back in town. We're all sitting around with Saturday night. We were like, we want to watch something light. And I said, Arnie, we watched Twins. And then somebody fucking lowballed went for Kindergarten Cop.
Well, unfortunately, Kindergarten Cop 2 has just left Netflix.
I know.
So you might have missed that.
I'm disappointed. I should have checked. I should have checked that it was ready to go. I watched Footloose again.
Classic.
You know what? It's fucking as schmaltzy and as fucking silly as a wheel. I mean, the fact that Johnny Lithgow wants to...
What's the band dancing?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. and Lithgow is talking about fucking ham.
Oh, yeah.
He's hammed right up to the max. And I still don't understand dancing in the smelting.
No.
Because it doesn't seem like dancing. It seems just like angrily running around.
Yeah. A lot of kind of, there's a lot of very angsty thrusting going on and shit.
And there is my favourite shot after he runs down like a... It's just like a wooden gangplank or something.
Yeah.
He's going from side to side like this, and he just leaps off the end into nowhere. And then we just get a shot of a bloke flying through the air.
Yeah. Is that the one? I think that's my favourite, where it's kind of happening towards the camera.
Yeah.
And he's going side to side, it's happening towards the camera. And I'm like, oh, shit.
It's clearly not bacon. It's fucking clearly not bacon.
Don't tell me your toe wasn't tapping from start to finish.
And as I said to my wife, this movie lives and dies on soundtrack, and the soundtrack's fucking awesome. It is awesome.
Yeah.
It still gets me, like I jumped on Spotify immediately.
As soon as it finished, you were on Almost Paradise.
I was.
As quick as you could.
I was knocking on heaven's door, so to speak. And
not so big on Heaven Help the Man, or like...
No, I don't mind that one. That's fucking Longans.
It's smelting Longans.
Yeah. That the soundtrack just fucking kicks it home. And it's still enjoyable. I mean, Chris Penn has no business dancing. None. And while he was trying to learn how to dance, I was actually thinking, I wish his brother was in this. I'd like to see him try this on.
I actually thought Chris Penn was...
He was good in it, yeah, he was good. I watched one called Black and Blue, which is on Netflix. That's kind of like a cop thriller, dirty cop thriller, with some racial overtones. Actually has Tyrese in it.
Yeah. You'd be happy.
Yeah. You know what? People fucking laugh at me if you want.
Yeah, I will.
But I'm a Tyrese fan.
Yeah, watch Morbius and get back to it.
Okay. Like, that's not his fault. I heard it was just underwritten.
Yeah, it was underwritten. But the bloke also seems totally oblivious. He was posting on Instagram about how Marvel should make him Blade, seemingly totally unaware that they've already cast Mahershala Ali for that exact role.
Yeah, so. Fuck Tyrese.
Finger on the pulse, mate.
Look. I actually think he's quite a good actor.
Yeah, he's got his lane. He can be quite.
Lane, but he's actually different. This is a more understated role, and I think he's actually quite good. No to Tyrese, though. Get your head out of your ass. Get your head out of your ass and get up to date on current events.
Read Variety. Or talk to your agent before you fucking post on Instagram.
No, I'll tell you what.
I bet his agent, every time
get rid of your accounts.
every time he opens Instagram, he thinks, fucking hell, can I take over that for you? Just vet
Tyrese, what we do is we get a socials group to help you.
We workshop, then we post.
Mate, we've got time. You don't need to just fucking post everything that comes to mind.
When you come to the workshop, we say,
hand your phone over and fuck off.
Marvel, cast me as Blade. It's a fucking short workshop, mate. Because we know that's not going to happen.
What we do is you give us a post. Cast me as Blade. We workshop that. We twist it a little. We say, I wish I'd been cast as Blade. I wasn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Post that. Fucking hell, idiot. No. Like I am a Tyrese fan. True blue Tyrese fan. And he's pretty good in this, and Black and Blue isn't too bad. Right. It's actually alright. Kind of goes a little bit off the rails near the end, but overall I kind of enjoyed it. Frankie Grillo's in it.
Oh, there you go.
He checks again.
Getting himself out of those
Bruce Willis movies that he was in.
Cosmic Sin or whatever it was.
And the last one, Jared, it was the remake of Firestarter.
Ooh. Did you went to the cinema for that one?
I did.
Yeah. I've heard you probably shouldn't have.
No. Look, what? It was okay. It was passable. Yeah. But I had forgotten everything about it after about 5 hours.
Was Efron setting panties on fire? That was my prediction.
Well, mate, my fucking drawers are on fire.
Can't comment on anyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, refuse to comment on anyone else.
But yeah, it was definitely a syndrome.
Yeah, what it was? I'll tell you what it was. It was like when you got one of those arse warmers and you...
Yeah, it wasn't instantly catching a light. There was definitely some
I mean, it was a mid-level fire, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like a bonfire. Yeah. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But Efron, it's hard to see him as a father, but yet he's 30 years old.
Yep.
So it's not like it shouldn't be hard to see that.
No.
Because he's no longer the pimple-faced 15-year-old that was in,
He's ahead in the game. He's not doing that.
He's not getting ahead. He's ahead in the game, and his performance is fine. I actually think he's kind of good. The film
the story's a little bland.
It's just a little bland. Not much really. There is interesting stuff involving this assassin that they've got after them.
Yep.
That stuff was kind of intriguing, but I don't think it was fully realised, and that's part of the problem with it. You just forget it the moment. I mean, I walked out of the cinema and swear I hadn't been there. so that's kind of where I'm at.
Wandered out, picked yourself up an ice cream, and then someone said, "Oh, g'day, Adam, and where are you been?" Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, but Jesus, my fucking pants are hot.
Yeah,
my underwear's fucking. I don't know what happened. Someone pieced that together for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't rush out and see it. I'd wait till it ended up on Amazon Prime or whatever, wherever it ends up.
Problem is, it's Peacock again.
Peacock.
I don't know where it's going to fucking show up for us.
It'll probably show up on
Amazon was where Halloween Kills showed up, I think.
Yeah, Halloween Kills also ended up on Binge. I would suggest Peacock. Yeah, it'd probably be Amazon or Binge.
Yeah,
but look, it's just not very good.
No,
unfortunately, which is disappointing because that shit's got room to move. According to Stephen King, he hates that fucking original.
I bet Stephen was posting, suspiciously posting just before this movie came out. Oh, this is great. Get out and check it out.
I guarantee he was. I'd say. I'm assuming he bought the rights back. Is that?
I think so.
This is another one of his fucking wheeling and dealies.
And I reckon he's probably taking an upfront fee and then a little bit on the back end too.
I said, Stephen, can you just tweet out a bit of shit?
Yeah.
He said, no, I'll pass that off to Tyrese.
So it's great. Yeah, Stephen's tweeted out a 5-starter, ready to make another one. What do you reckon? Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's already happening, dickhead. But that was it for me. All right, let's take a break. And here's the trailer.
Actually,
you've got one more.
Not a movie, but probably worth mentioning. Evil Dead game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How is it?
Loving it.
Yeah.
It's good fun. I'm currently working through some of the single-player missions. There's about 5 of them so far. And they're a good challenge. But I've played some of the... I haven't played online yet. I don't love playing online, which is the hard part about all these horror games being online. I prefer to just fucking wander around in the game myself, but there is some solo options. So I've tested some of them out, and I probably will jump on hopefully work some private games in, but I'm pretty happy with it. It feels kind of like what Friday the 13th should have been, but took a while to get to, and then obviously the rights fucked it up. It's got characters from everything bar the remake so far, and there's more coming. There's only one map, but it's quite large and contains a lot of bits and pieces, and they've already said the next map coming out is the castle from Army of Darkness.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I'm digging it. It wasn't too expensive either. I bought the
$50 bucks, wasn't it?
It was $50, but I paid the $80 to get the season pass rolled into the kind of package. So you get all the updates for free. But yeah, I would get on it.
Speaking of games too, isn't the Quarry out?
Quarry's out in about 2 weeks. Yeah,
because I enjoyed Until Dawn.
Yep.
And it's now 5 or 6 years later, and so the quality will be upped.
Yep.
And it looks more slasher style.
Yeah.
Camp setting, it'll bring all that sort of stuff to it. But I believe it's a similar style in that you make decisions that move things forward.
I cannot wait for that one.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
But yeah, get on Evil Dead.
All right.
ASAP.
Might have to. All right, let's take a break. Here's a trailer for 2021's Candyman.
It was only a matter of time before Candyman came back here. A story like that, a pain like that, lasts forever. This neighborhood got stained over and over. Say his name 5 times in a mirror. See what happens. Candyman will live forever. Rated R.
Candyman from 2021, directed by Nia DaCosta, who directed Little Woods. It's produced by Jordan Peele, who produced Get Out, Wynn Rosenfeld, who produced Black Klansman, and Ian Cooper, who produced Us. It's written by Nia DaCosta, Jordan Peele, and Wynn Rosenfeld. Based on the 1992 motion picture by Bernard Rose and the short story The Forbidden by Clive Barker. It stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen as Anthony McCoy, Tanoia Paris as Brianna Cartwright, Nathan Stewart Jarrett as Troy Cartwright, and Coleman Domingo as William Burke. It cost $22 million and had a worldwide box office of $77 million. The production was brought back to the Cabrini Green neighbourhood, where the original Candyman was filmed, and though the high-rise buildings had long been demolished, the row houses still exist. Interesting. All right, Jared, what was your take?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, because I, in the last couple of years, have developed a far greater appreciation for the original Candyman. I've gone back and watched it a few times, and I just really love Tony Todd in that character and love the kind of urban legend sort of idea.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny to discover. I always thought it had a pretty good standing in, like, black cinema.
Yeah.
So it was funny to kind of dig into it a little deeper and find out that, yeah, it does, in the sense that, it gave the black community representation in that slasher genre, but there was still a lot of issues with it.
Yeah.
And going back, having listened to some of and dug into what people have got to say about it, yeah, there is some issues with the stereotypes and this, how they deal with the settings in the first one, and obviously, the black killer chasing a white woman and all that sort of stuff, that it still deals with kind of some of the fears of black men and all this sort of shit.
Yeah.
So it was really, I thought it was a really good thing that Jordan Peele kind of put his hand up and said that this is what I want, and that he got it. He got to do it.
Yeah.
So the exercise from that standing it's great to watch, like seeing it from that angle and that being totally clear when you're watching it, like kind of claiming the character, which I think is a really cool thing. In terms of the story, there's parts of it that I like just fall a little bit short for me, but I love the direction of it. I think the direction is fucking excellent.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one for me because I probably settled on about a 3, but there's no doubt I will go back to this one and watch it a lot. You know, I've just watched, not that recently, I've watched parts 2 and 3. I'll sit on the shelf for a couple more years and I'll go back to the original and this one a lot. And I think there's some really great things about it, and it will kind of stand, I think it will stand as a kind of mark of some shit that hopefully will lead to kind of social change and stuff like that. So I think it's going to have a lasting impact for that reason. It's one of those horror movies that has a super strong, super important message that will, you know, will mean it will last for a long, long time. And I think that the strength of the direction and some of the story elements kind of serve that really well. So yeah, I probably settled on a 3. Look, I was pushing towards a 3.5, probably a 3 in the end. But I really do love it. I think it's a really, really good bit of work.
Yeah. So. I went with a 3 as well. Direction is fantastic. Acting is fantastic. All the story elements work. A lot of the story elements work for me. The Candyman himself is quite creepy.
Mm.
It's interesting that, you know, we have differing thoughts on this, but the first hour is awesome. Like, I was really, really impressed. And although the ideas and everything in that last half an hour are all good and everything comes together the way I expected it to, it just felt really muddled to me. It kind of rushed. I felt like we'd done such a good job to kind of draw us into it, and then kind of just ran home like fucking Usain Bolt in an effort to almost like finish it. Like, it could have, to me, it felt like it could have been 15 minutes longer.
Yeah, I think it could have.
Just to give us more, you know, just kind of get there in at the right pace.
Yeah.
It just felt like the pace just picked up.
Yeah, so I thought
once she was abducted.
Yeah, I actually really loved the last 20 minutes.
It just rushed into it, and I felt like that kind of brought it undone for me. But overall, considering the first one, I would say is a real sort of top-notch film for me. And it's not quite there, but it's pretty damn good as far as one of these sort of reimagining type of films is. And it works in the context of this period of time too.
Yep.
So a lot to like here. First up, direction is fantastic.
Yeah,
visual
great.
Style. The film's got its own look and atmosphere. It's not in any way like the others. You know, in terms of the way she shoots things. It has its own voice and everything.
Yep.
And I think it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
And I think her resume is pretty small at this stage.
Yeah.
I believe she's picked up a Marvel movie. Is that not true?
No, Mike, don't know. Possibly.
I believe she's got a Marvel movie coming. But really, really good. Like exceptional, I would have said.
Yep.
Best part of the film for me is it's directed with such kind of it's assured. It's a bit like what I said about Ryan Coogler with Creed. You know, it's assured. He just knew what he wanted to do.
Well, I loved, from the get-go, I loved how she kind of inverts that helicopter shot from the original.
Yeah.
Like, rather than shooting the city from the top down, it's from
underneath, isn't it?
Looking up. Yeah. So I was kind of straight away, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool touch, and I think it just continued the whole way through. I especially liked the way that some of the kill sequences were shot, but I'll get into that.
And I really liked the first time we saw the Candyman. when he wasn't the Candyman.
Yeah.
He was that guy with the one hand.
Well, yes.
The way he comes out of the wall and he looks so fucking creepy.
Yeah, that whole sequence in there is very, very creepy given how little's actually going on.
Yeah, and he's holding his hand out with the... And he's smiling.
It's kind of the twisted sort of smile.
It was creepy stuff, but it was really, really well shot.
Yep.
And that's what I mean about... That's what I love about the first hour, is they take their time.
Yep.
They're so methodical about how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the idea of the puppets. The puppetry stuff.
Well, yeah, I think...
Especially the way they create the original, basically, in that format.
Well, the remake of, like, using the puppets to tell the story of it...
Yeah.
Was fucking awesome because it kept this kind of detachment from it, and you know, there was elements of the story that, as people that have watched the first one, you looking at it going, no, it's wrong. That's not how it happened. But that's what happens with an urban legend. You get further away from it, details get mixed up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was such a good touch because that trailer they did with the puppets wasn't even a trailer really. It was just kind of that teaser to it all was one of the most fucking stunning kind of teaser things I've seen in years. I remember just watching that over and over and thinking, this is fucking awesome. So I'm glad that they kept parts of it in the movie.
Yes. And obviously then using Virginia Madison's pictures and her voice, which I don't know whether it was actually from the original film.
I think she came back and re-recorded some things extra.
Yeah. So that was cool just to connect that first story to this one in a really solid way. Like it didn't feel like tacked on or we have to do it. It kind of, everything had a purpose.
Yep.
That story, and it comes up later, which in one of my other likes, is, you know, a little twist on that and how that all came about. And I really like the way they did it. I really like some of that shit where he's walking through the projects, you know, when he jumps the fence.
Yep.
There's a real haunting quality to all of it.
Yeah.
Everything's empty.
It calls back to the original a little bit with the you know, the massive face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Again, very well shot, very well designed.
Very well shot.
Very creepy stuff. You briefly mentioned it there, but I love that they went with a new Candyman. Like, the look of the new kind of, what was his name? Sherman?
Yeah, Sherman.
The guy that he sees coming out of the wall. I kind of love that they changed that. I mean, obviously when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is a little different. I wonder why, you know, we're going with that. And then obviously that comes together later. But I thought the design of it was really cool. Obviously still the hook hand.
Yeah.
The jacket, the colour of the jacket, for some reason, I just thought they nailed the look of it. Yeah, the mustardy colour. And I think the idea of the, you know, the whole damn hive idea actually really suits the purpose very, very well. You get the chance to kind of redesign it for your own. Being a kind of legacy sequel, you get the chance to put your own touches on the character, but it suits the purpose really well in terms of the whole, you know, the whole racial trauma thing and how one person's representing it, but then, you know, Jordan Peele's putting this message out that but it keeps happening. You know? So you now have this kind of lineage of Candyman, which I think was a fucking excellent idea. And as I said, served the legacy sequel stuff really well because they were able to, you know, design a take on the character from the ground up, but with the familiar elements, which I think looked really, really good.
Yeah. I love the way William tells him about the Candyman, that story, as he sort of plays it out. The acting is fucking top notch.
Yes.
And just the way he tells the story.
Very engaging.
Yeah, he engages you in it. That guy's in Euphoria, or TV show. He's fucking excellent in that. And I remember looking at him and thinking, I know this guy.
Yep.
And looked him up and was like, yeah, this is where I know him from. And he really delivers. And he has a couple of monologues where he's excellent.
Yep.
You know. For some reason, I got a fairly hearty laugh out of the bloke. The gay bloke who proceeds to tell him black people don't need to be summoned and shit. I was like, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Nobody needs to be summoned in anything.
Yep. Yeah, no, that was quite good. I love the way he was sort of telling the story of the Candyman too. Like
Yeah, at the start,
woven in
it's
with the
kind of
puppets and stuff. Yeah, that was really cool how it came about, because that's sort of what it was like the first time around, right? Just these whispers of what this is, and I think bringing it back in that sense was a great idea.
Yeah,
great work there.
Really well played. The first 2 kills in the art studio.
Yep,
Gold.
excellent. I mean, that the way they shoot that shit, and I loved the idea that the Candyman's fucking floating.
Yeah.
And only being able to see him in the mirror.
Yeah.
Introduced this kind of Freddy-ish. I mean, we've spoken about how the first one had some kind of ties in with Freddy as well, and there's parts through the series where that stuff happens. But I love the way they just committed to it.
Yeah.
That when this is happening, they can't see him, but they can catch glimpses in the mirror. So you get these shots from a distance of the fucking shadowy figure fucking slicing through the screen.
Yeah.
And he turns to the screen and you can't see him, but you can see the screen ripping and shit like that. Absolutely loved it, because it lends itself really well to some fucking creepy shots of people kind of, stumbling away and just catching a glimpse of it as you go, the floating feet.
Yeah. Really cool.
I just loved it.
Yeah, it was really well done. Quite gory, especially when he's dragged backwards by his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
He's hooked by the Achilles and then just dragged back, and you just see him dragged in sort of mid-air, whether you don't see anyone there for a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's really good. Really, really good.
Yeah.
That scene where he mirrors the Candyman at the critic's place,
Yes.
where he's standing there looking at himself and he's going like this.
Yeah.
And the Candyman's looking back at him and doing the same thing. And you can't quite see the Candyman's face properly.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, the whole, he's been beaten so badly, I really, really like that stuff. I mean, and I really, just jumping backwards, when Anthony first says the Candyman 5 times, and then you see the Candyman for a second in the window,
they're
reflected
hugging.
in the window,
They're kind of hugging, and you just see him standing there, just a silhouette, basically.
Yeah, it was really, really creepy.
Yep.
Like, just for a split second you see him, and then he's gone.
Yep.
I really liked some of that stuff, and again, I have a dislike to all of this a little bit later, but overall, I would think, again, they did a really good job. I mean, I throw in the as you watch the critic, after she goes into the bathroom, after Anthony kind of goads her into saying it.
Yep.
But you don't know whether she said it or not. And then we pull back from a shot of the high-rise building she's in, and we're slowly going backwards, and you just see her getting picked up on the ground. And it's like, it's so subtle because we don't hear anything. We don't hear any, screaming or anything. We just see it happening.
Yep.
I mean, I thought, again, just another different take on doing it.
Yeah.
And I thought they did that very well.
I actually kind of like the idea too of the white critic kind of tossing out some things that you could possibly expect someone might say about the movie too.
Yeah.
I sort of like that idea of when she was in the art gallery and mentioning you people and shit like that.
Yeah, and he's like, you people?
Yeah.
She's like, artists.
Yeah.
This was my favourite sequence involving William, was where he explains the multiple Candymans, man characters over time, and how these atrocities and they're still happening. And it's really, really well delivered. It hits hard.
Yeah.
You understand where they're coming, what they're talking about, and how sort of, from a racial perspective, and all of that stuff is just really, really well delivered in that sequence. And you can actually feel some sort of pain and shit to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's a huge, huge tick about how well it kind of plays.
Yep.
Is because it incorporates that in there pretty well.
Yeah, I think it does. Like I said, I love the idea about the whole this shit keeps happening and stuff like that. You get, especially in the, given that it came out around the whole George Floyd kind of thing, you can definitely see the parallels there about, this is just shit that keeps on going on. You might remember a few names and things like that, but it affects a whole group of people here, and I think, that message, we'll get to it there. We've obviously got some differences of opinion on the ending, but I think the ending really drives that home. So, Yeah, it was an interesting kind of.
It does. It certainly does drive it home.
Well, it's just the guy, the William character. Although he does come across as a little off the wall in those last scenes, kind of just fucking desperate to keep the name out there, keep this awareness out there.
Yeah.
Because, it's so easy to just kind of forget it and move on to the next. You're like, no, we got to keep this name out there. You got to fucking keep people saying it, and you got to keep the awareness of it there. Like,
yeah,
I like that.
Yep, all the girls killed in the bathroom.
Yeah,
again, really well shot,
outstanding.
You don't really see much,
no,
but it kind of showcases how brutal it is.
Yeah,
just when you see the girl looking under the bathroom stall, and you just see the blood just cascading down.
Yep, and again the use of the mirror just to show the feet floating past. I love the way they go to the point of view of the girl with the headphones in, so the sound cuts out too.
Yeah,
just fucking awesome.
Really well handled.
I do have a little problem with one aspect of the scene, but overall, again, just fucking absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I am really hoping that they continue on with something in this vein, and that Nia DaCosta gets to do it again, because I could watch that shit all day.
Yeah, really well done. The twist that the baby that Helen took in the first film was Anthony. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought, what a fantastic way to connect them. But surreptitiously, just not over sort of jammed in there. We must have the connection, so we're just going to find some random connection. It's a really, really well played connection.
Yeah.
And it's not delivered until later.
Yeah, and it connects him completely to this whole the whole Cabrini Green thing. He seems a little bit oblivious to some of it and unaware of all of it, but he was right in it. You know, I was a big fan of that being used as the way to connect them, and
appreciated the fact that some effort went into that.
And obviously, again, it ties into some social commentary about they get their chance to talk about the projects that white people built the projects and then fucking tore them down when they realised they built the ghetto, and then tore them down when they realised they built the ghetto, and all this sort of shit.
Yeah, interesting angles to look at it.
Yep.
The sequence where William basically cuts Anthony's arm off and jams the fucking hook in there.
Yeah,
was
pretty
gross.
rough. He's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like, especially when he's soaring away.
Yeah. Because he's really getting into it. He's really getting into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't sawed a lot of. I've sawed the occasional sort of piece of wood and little branches off trees, but that's kind of what it was looking like.
Yeah, I know. He's just
kind of really working his way through it.
Yeah. Oh god. And my last one was that the late cameo from Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Again,
awesome.
Well put in, not just crammed in. Tony Todd's in the background of some scene or something like that. It's just, it had purpose.
What is he?
And they went back to the whole thing of Daniel Robitaille.
Yeah.
He came before.
What does he say? He says, I can't remember. But it's something along the lines of, make sure they know my name or something like that. I fucking loved it. Like that was one of the biggest buzzes of the entire movie, because I'd seen a little bit beforehand. I'd somehow come across spoilers that Anthony was the baby. I'd come across that Tony Todd was involved but wasn't the Candyman. So I was kind of thinking, by that point in the movie, I'm like, well, fuck, that one must have been off the base, Yeah. And then bang, there it is. It's kind of de-aged.
Very brief, but I thought
good.
Well played.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually, we've got sort of difference of opinion, but I really enjoyed the last 20, especially her kind of summoning the Candyman as a sort of
protector type
defense against this kind of this sort of institutionalized racism.
Yeah.
I really loved that. I loved that sequence, and then seeing Anthony as the Candyman now doing that shit, and then it morphing into the Tony Todd. I was just that was just a big win for me. I felt that was a fucking home run finish, that last few minutes.
Is that it for you in the likes department?
Yeah, actually, I really dug the music too.
Yeah, not bad. I thought the music was pretty...
It was pretty sparing.
Yeah.
But they used a little bit of that theme, the little piano kind of theme. I really liked it, the one where the initial shots go on. It's just like... reminded me of kind of Halloween in that it was just a few notes, but it was just kind of just sort of drumming on in the background, and a lot of the music was like that. There wasn't a lot to it, but it was just a few notes that were just kind of stuck in your head and going along. Yeah, I quite liked the music throughout.
Yeah. All right, dislikes. I found it a little hard to kind of relate to the whole art scene. I found the original easier to relate to. Helen was a uni student or something along that line, doing a thesis or doing a story. I kind of got more invested in that.
Yeah.
Some of the art stuff I just found a bit... I don't know. I didn't connect well with it.
I mean, I feel one of the strengths of it was some of the images that they used and the art gallery kind of kill sequence and
I did like the fact that he was kind of painting.
Yeah.
He was getting his art mojo back by having the Candyman as almost his muse.
Yeah,
somewhat.
and I liked having the kind of, you know, there's one of those Candyman pictures. I like the kind of the sequence of Candyman pictures that he paints, and one of them is Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Basically. I liked some of that, but I know what you're saying. Like, it was
not as accessible.
A little more difficult to access.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't go to art galleries.
It's the Cheese and Wine Brigade, you know?
Yeah.
Cheese and Wine Brigade is more that sort of outfit. So, it just was a little harder to get close to.
A little, yes. I get you there.
There seems to be an awful lot of stupid motherfuckers who are goaded very easily into saying Candyman 5 times in the mirror. I mean, come on. Yeah, a little bit of peer pressure and you stand in front of the mirror and go, fucking Candyman?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
But, I liked... I mean, it did make sense in the fact that they were presenting it as that no one remembered this anymore.
And the fact that it was part of his art project.
Yeah.
The whole, art gallery.
And it's funny, the other day when I watched this, I had these kids come up to me at school and say, they said, is Baby Blue real? And I was sitting there thinking, what the fuck is Baby Blue? I said to, what is it? And they said, someone told us if you go into the bathroom and you say Baby Blue into the mirror, it'll appear and do this shit. And I'm sitting there in my head.
Candyman.
I'm obviously working with younger kids, so I had to bite my tongue and say, that's just fucking Candyman or Bloody Mary or, Yeah. But it was funny because it kind of, it's the same thing as what you're talking about. Like, there's a group of people, not that young, but, 20-year-old kids or whatever, you could say Candyman to them and they'd say, what the fuck's Candyman?
Yeah.
I mean, I was at a gathering the other day with a Candyman t-shirt on and not one of the people knew what it was. I had a bunch of people saying, what's it? It's the one with the silhouette that says, say it. And they're like, what's that? I'm like, Candyman. And so many of them said, what's Candyman?
Yeah.
So it was interesting that all happened really recently when I'd watched the movie and so it sort of softened that for me. Like, we actually are kind of at a point where a lot of people wouldn't have, even, this urban legend, it's morphed to something else or people don't know.
But look, mate, the guy in the art gallery was about to get laid. I am not saying fucking Candyman in the mirror.
Well, if it's helping,
come on, baby.
If it's helping your chances.
But it's not. It's not helping you with your chances.
Oh, shit. What are you saying? I'm the Candyman.
Yeah. I got some candy for you.
But, dear.
You know what I mean?
It's called pillow talk, baby.
Hell to the king. I guess the thing for me is that I know you needed it. Because, you had to have characters.
Well, you got to have people say it or he doesn't get...
But a couple of times it just felt a little forced.
But I guess, I didn't have so much of a problem because they're so far removed. I mean, Cabrini Green doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
He was kind of presented as the boogeyman at Cabrini Green, although when you get down to in number 2 it's in New Orleans and then the third one's in fucking Los Angeles. So Candyman gets around.
Candyman's not staying put, is he? He likes to get around the place.
Candyman's been out, man.
He seems to like the bigger cities if he can get his,
Yeah, he's just working his way up.
But he's down in the French Quarter fucking knifing people. Jesus.
Yeah, I think he turns up at
Day of the Dead, doesn't he? In the sequel?
Yeah. So he gets to a party. He gets to party, Candyman.
Oh, of course he does. You know, he took the night off and got on the piss.
yeah. I felt that fit, that they moved away from this. People had forgotten about it. A huge part of the story was you gotta. I mean, when we get to it, that's William's kind of motivation is you can't fucking forget this shit. Everyone's got to know. Everyone's got to know about it.
If I'm one of the fucking cheerleaders of Steady, I'm 18 years old. I've got better things to do. Say fucking Candyman 5 times.
Yeah, I've got a fucking class to get to.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Oh, how old are we? I loved the way it was shot, and I loved how creepy it was. But I do think they do lean on that jump scare, sort of him in the background, a little bit too much.
Yeah.
They let it go for too long.
Yeah, I would have liked more of what happened at the end. But perhaps with Sherman before that, the Sherman Candyman kind of iteration before.
Yeah.
Like when you see Anthony as the Candyman and he's just cutting a swath through the police, I would have maybe liked
a bit more of that.
A bit of a build-up where you get maybe a scene like that with Sherman. Not necessarily the same what it's going towards, but I felt like the scene in the bathroom with the girls was building up to that he's kind of run through this collection of people and we got to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can get what you're going with there. One of my dislikes was, look, Sherman was innocent. So Sherman was just like a bloke who liked to give out candy and he was, beaten to death by the police.
Huh?
If that's all you are, if all you're doing is giving out candy, don't hide in walls and fucking run up on people.
Don't come out there going, what's the fucking face like window? That shit? Apex Twin?
Yeah, I remember that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
One of the scariest things I've ever fucking seen in my life.
And I told you, I had a fucking hard night in the piss one night. And I came home, collapsed in bed, as I was prone to do back then.
Yeah.
And I rolled over.
Chucked on rage.
Yeah, well, I had just the wherewithal before I passed out to turn the TV on to rage.
Yeah.
And people are probably wondering, what time of night was it? You wouldn't have slept through it. Look, I was probably home in bed by 10.
Yeah, well,
I had too many.
That was the great thing, is that you never knew, because Rage went from 11 till fucking 5.
Yeah,
so you never knew what time you got home, but you knew Rage was on.
So I remember rolling over and waking up, Rage playing, and then, I kind of got my bearings and I was just going to watch the rest of Rage or do something.
Yeah.
And then on comes fucking Window Licker by Aphex Twin, the film clip.
Yep.
And honestly, I still have nightmares about that shit.
Mate. I tell you, I came across it, I think it was like a Thursday.
Keeps dancing like Michael Jackson, then turn around with that disgusting looking face. Okay, oh, God.
I came across it, I used to work a job where I'd finish at midnight and come home.
Yeah.
So my parents would be asleep, everyone would be asleep, the lights would all be out, everything would be fucking quiet as. And I got home from that and went to bed, did the same thing except minus the intoxication levels. But I turned it on there and it was... Yeah, my room was dark, there wasn't a noise in the house, and here comes Window Licker. I'm just going, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What is this?
Aphex Twin. Fuck. And I remember getting that.
Haunting my fucking dreams.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing, Jared, I was scared out of my mind, and I was maggot. I was maggot pissed beforehand.
That's what I used to love. You'd come home and you'd...
I sobered up so quickly.
You'd come home from a rough night, your feet would be so tired from being on the dance floor all night, but you'd jump on Rage so you could lay in bed and just kind of shrug the shoulders and a little shimmy as you were fucking passing out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, usually my feet weren't sore from being on the dance floor, they were from trying to remove them from the fucking sludge on the ground.
Your feet were sore from walking the 18 holes home.
They were sore from running a few fucking laps on the racetrack. Yeah.
Yeah. How far do we get home? Oh, probably 8 furlongs.
Yeah. I didn't fucking win by a nose. Jesus Christ. So.
Oh, dear.
I feel, yeah. Sherman, mate, just fucking hang out in your apartment.
Yeah.
Or something. I never quite understood.
Just come and introduce yourself.
Was he homeless?
I'm your neighbour, Sherman. I don't know. I got the sense that it was. Look, I laugh at it. I got the sense that there was.
He was not.
There was mental kind of instability.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to talk.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, as the cops descend on me from the fucking from above, I'm going. I was just hurting.
Check the candy. There's nothing in there.
Wait, it's clean. I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
But I got the sense that they'd already sort of set that up. They were setting up the fact that
it was all part of the. It was all part of the whole thing about.
He wasn't capable of defending himself because
he wasn't capable of that, and the police weren't interested in that.
Yeah.
You know,
all they're interested in is, catching this guy.
It's another take on, the original, the Daniel Robitaille thing that, he didn't do anything wrong, but he got fucking killed.
Yeah.
Same deal here, but it was relating it to more modern kind of settings that are still going on.
Yeah. Necrophilia has always been on my bucket list. Shocking line of dialogue.
Yeah.
Let's not have that.
Now, that is the same bloke, and this is my huge dislike to the art gallery killings. It looks fantastic, but next time I watch it, I've got to mute the fucking thing because I don't want to hear that guy talk.
During his death or during
both?
Pre-death?
Both. Like there's that scene, he mentions that, but then there's a part where the Candyman's coming down on him, there's fucking music going, and he's sitting there going, oh shit, let's go faster, and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, that just took me right out of things there.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a struggle for me, him in general.
You weren't a fan?
No, I wasn't a fan. I did like when Anthony fucking got a few too many Canadian clubs under the belt.
Yeah, he told him to fucking jam it up.
It reminded me of you didn't tell me I'm a scumbag. That's what Anthony having his scumbag moment, telling you're a goofy fuck or whatever, and you pair of jackals.
I hadn't had too many Canadian clubs under the belt when I told you were a scumbag.
No, only about 17.
I've been drinking.
Well, which time? Which occasion that you told me I'm a scumbag?
Yeah, exactly. You can count the number on it.
I mean, you rock up tonight. I get a scumbag.
I didn't particularly like that guy.
No,
at all.
No, I wasn't a fan.
Kind of a misstep. Not as far as Big John and Little John.
No. He worked in the sense of you got this kind of scummy vibe to him when he was telling Anthony, I need to see this sort of shit, or I can't put you in my shows or whatever.
Yeah, you kind of got he was a bit of a shyster.
But leave that out of the kill sequence. I don't want to hear him saying shit like, let's go faster. Like, that kind of kills it for me.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun.
My biggest dislike, I already mentioned this, I just feel like the conclusion, although for the most part well done, it just feels rushed. Like, I just felt like the first hour was really playing things out at a nice pace. The pacing was right.
Yeah.
And then once Anthony's girlfriend is kidnapped by William, it just kind of races to the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't take its time. Whereas I think we still had time. Like, I would have been happy with another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Where you just, you sort of tease that out.
Yeah, I guess
because William kidnaps her, rambles on with some shit, and then cuts his hand off, and it's all in about 5 minutes.
Well,
then suddenly he's on the run in the projects, and no one knows where he is, and then they find him again later.
The last 20 minutes, I actually really, I don't know, I just really, I was hooked in on that sequence. So perhaps I wasn't looking for the issues as much, but my issue was that he's kind of super important for a stretch, and then he's just gone for a long stretch, and then he's back.
Yeah. He rambles, and then he
goes on,
kind of dies, and what have you.
The other thing too was did I miss something, or he cut his own tongue? Was that right? He gave Anthony, after he'd fucking cut his hand off and done all that, he had the 2 lollipops.
Yeah.
And I think he put the razor blades in him. Is that why he was talking funny? He cut his tongue or something?
I think so.
I didn't quite get that. I think it was, again, trying to play into this whole, we need to remember this shit. We need people to know about it. But
True.
I do.
Anthony's, the other thing too is if my fucking hand, if I've been stung by something or bitten by something,
I'm at the GP the next day. I mean, if that shit's still hurting after 2 days, I mean, it looked like your fucking hand was going to fall off.
He looked like leprosy. It looked like leprosy.
Oh, shit.
Now, if I think I've got fucking leprosy, I'm going to A&E. I'm not going to a fucking GP. I'm going to the emergency room.
The second time he looked at his hand, I'm thinking, shit, I've got the monkey flu or whatever it is going around at the moment. The monkey pox. Monkey pox. I'm going to the hospital.
Yeah. Fuck, I've got monkey pox. I'm isolating. I'm going to the fucking hospital.
Yeah, that was...
like, you know what I'm doing? I'm taking the fucking William Forsythe and Deuce Bigelow approach.
Take a look at
this is. Take a look at this. I unbuckled a little bit wildly and then no ass
Yeah, I mean, there was a sense.
Do you think I'll be all right?
There was a sense of urgency for him because it was on his taco.
Yeah, but then he proceeded to tell us he had a fucking pindy.
I mean, if your old fella looks like that, I'm straight to emergency.
Yeah, oh yeah. But Anthony's hand was fucked.
It was.
Like,
and you're a painter. You need that shit functioning at full capacity.
You cannot paint one-handed. Fucking Ken Doe, that's right.
Yeah.
I understood it. Yeah, obviously his hand was dying.
Yeah,
and I was going to cut it off and put the hook in it.
Yes, and you kind of mentioned the whole art scene too. Obviously, that's kind of connecting to the Daniel Robitaille being a painter and whatever as well. But I know what you're saying. It was
but
kind
also
of parts. It felt like what are we doing at this particular juncture? Why aren't we? Why don't I have a sequence where the GP at least says, "No, you'll be right in 2 days."
Holy shit! It's monkeypox.
The GP standing there looking like something out of Outbreak in a hazmat suit, going, "Fuck, get this guy in here." Isolate immediately.
The GP's fucking Dustin Hoffman. He's in a fucking in a hazmat suit. And he says, "Nah, you're fine."
Yeah. Take these.
Take 2 of these. And call me in the morning. Yeah, I know my next call is the next day. Is my fucking hand fell off in the night.
Yeah, I took 2 of them. My hand fell off. Now I feel great. I didn't feel it. Didn't feel a thing.
Good. Don't go into any highly populated areas. You've got fucking monkeypox. Oh dear. Yeah. All right. What else you got? You got anything else?
Just one. This kill in the bathroom of the school.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a great sequence, but it just feels out of place. Because the girl was in the art gallery, correct? One of the girls was in the art gallery, found out about it.
But then
We
disappears
don't
for
see her
ages.
for a while, and then she comes in, that happens, and then it's just back to... It just feels like it's completely separate. It felt like it was a great sequence that you couldn't really...
Get rid of. Because it
couldn't really lose.
look cool.
I didn't feel like it was... It just felt like it was kind of removed from everything else.
Yeah.
As much as I loved it, I would have had... If I was making the movie, I probably would have just left it in anyway, even if I felt that way, because it looked so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just felt like it wasn't part of what was going on.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Because she's a throwaway character. There's not much to her until they turn up in the bathroom and say the name.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit. Felt like it almost from a different movie. You know, it felt like kind of like Candyman is killing teens in Scream style.
Well, maybe it was they ducked off to Los Angeles or New Orleans for that particular sequence.
Yeah, exactly.
Surely we've got to get on that next. Farewell to the Flesh, or no. Now that I've got,
have you got Farewell to the Flesh on
I've got
DVD?
Farewell to the Flesh, and now that I've got Day of the Dead, surely that's our choice.
Double back up,
double bill,
and fucking double bill those two. Well, you've recently watched them too.
Yes, I have.
Anything else from you?
No, that was it. I really did enjoy it. I really, really like it, and I think I will go back to it quite frequently.
Yeah, I think it's a really good film.
I think that's the third time I've watched it so far.
It's definitely got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
And certainly not. What I like about it is it's not a kind of quickly put together property to try and reinvigorate it so we can sell some more tickets or merch or whatever. It's a really well thought out exploration of the Candyman.
Yeah,
kind of mythology.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important when you're making these sort of films, is you actually give a shit.
Yeah. And it's, it's clear why, because it's these black creators that have been given the opportunity to say, right, this means a lot to you, but there was some mistakes made. The original was, we did some things that were positive.
Yeah.
But it was ultimately it was made from a white person's point of view. So now here it is.
Yeah.
All the the creative kind of heads are black creators.
Yeah.
It's a fucking good thing, I think, to see. And I think the result is a fucking very good film that I hope continues. I would love to see another one.
Correct, yeah. I would have zero issues with that. I think it'd be worth seeing where they could take it.
Yeah.
All right, that was Candyman. You can find us on Podomatic, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. We're on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, Instagram at thrillmepodcastau. Please rate and review us on all the platforms that we have. Our next episode, keep an eye on our Facebook page for details of what that will be. But until then, take it easy, and we'll see everyone later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.